welcome to the Late Night Show. Hope everything is okay. Hope everything is all right. I'm your host, Andrew Dick. Okay, kids, what's happening on the lovely island of St. Martin? Parliament Bacchanal continues and it's sweet. The Social Economic Council was in Parliament today, and while they were in Parliament, they wanted for it to be closed doors, but Parliament was like, why? And then the Economic Council was like, why not? And they were going back and forth. It was like soap opera at its best, and I have the highlights for you. I'm going to show it, I'm going to break it down. This is the first part. Take a look.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, the point that I raised and your response given, I know. I have seen the request of the SER. It's a document registered at Parliament. In preparing for this meeting, of course, I take note of the documents that relate to the meeting. I still make the point that third parties, government and others are too often requesting according to their convenience whether meetings of Parliament should be closed door or not. And the principle of Parliament is that we talk with and to the public on matters to be addressed in here. That's my point. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Of the topic, agenda point 1 will be held in closed door. So I hereby adjourn this
Point
meeting.
of order, Mr. Chairman. Point of order.
Yes, MP Bryson.
Mr. Chairman, I was waiting for let's say the agenda to be open to handle that point that was discussed in notification. I understand the written elucidation of the SER indeed. The public isn't privy to why it is going closed door. Can we at least maybe get a statement from the SER explaining this? From my purview, I tend to lean towards what MP Westcott William is saying. From the perspective, the SER is a constitutional body. It is a body of important public service. We do have the General Audit Chamber that is customary to come to the Parliament in a closed door, so it's not completely out of the question. But I am still a bit divided on whether this particular topic, where a public court verdict is available for anyone to see on this topic, why this particular thing has to go closed door. So before that, Mr. Chairman, I would think we need to hear from this side some more.
Now, of course, you would think after that, they would answer and they would tell you, okay, we apologize and, whatever Parliament wants. No. The SER Economic Council chairperson, Delano Richardson, was like, partner, let me tell you why I wanted closed doors. It was good. Take a look.
Thank you, MP Bryson. I would also feel the same if Mr. Richardson would like to chime in on that.
Yeah. Good.
Mr. Richardson, you have the floor.
Good morning, Chairman and distinguished members of Parliament. For clarity, Mr. Rolando Bryson, Mr. MP Bryson, your question is very interesting, seeing that there seems to be a necessity to clarify what's going on, but for those who are aware, there is a second court case going on where ECSM is concerned in relationship to, call it the government of St. Martin, but in retrospect also the SER. Number 2, there has been closed door meetings here concerning the audit chamber, the ECSM as well as SHTA has had closed door meetings. And the nature of those closed door meetings, from what I know, was not made known to the public as to why they were closed door. So I don't think it is actually essential at this time. We have made it known to Parliament, and I think it's also important for Parliament to inform the public as to why this is a closed door meeting. Not the burden is not on the SER, the burden is on the Parliament as to why they granted us the right to have this closed door meeting. I think that is where it falls. And let us be focused for a minute. Please, Parliament, give account to every other reason why you granted closed door meetings to others. Don't come here reprimanding the SER.
Mr. Chairman, I think
Thank
the
you.
tone of Mr. Richardson needs to definitely be checked. I don't appreciate that not one bit.
Thank
You're
you.
in the House of Parliament, Mr. Richardson.
Thank you, thank you, MP Bryson. I apologize for my tone, but I get a little bit ruffled by the question, seeing that the Parliament granted access to many others to have private meetings, yet here this is being questioned and it's not being made known to the public as to why those other meetings were private. I think it's a bit, contradictive. Okay, that's the reason why. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Richardson. We understand, but there was no need to flare up on that point, and according to the Article 77, Sub 2, the request was there, and we are handling that. So
I have a
hereby
proposal of
would
order, Mr.
adjourn-
Chairman. I propose that we remain with the agenda point open.
So, that was basically the scene. Of course, the meeting continued. One of the agenda points was closed doors, and the others was open to the public, and everybody kissed and made up after. In any way, honestly though, what was priceless was MP Bryson's face when Mr. Richardson was telling them about themselves. Priceless, priceless. All right, what else is happening? Aunty Sarah is vexed. The reason why she vexed is because Mullet Bay is being discussed in Parliament this week, but it's behind closed doors. She's been asking over and over, what's going on with Mullet Bay? What's going on with the Mullet Bay inquiry? Now it's finally on the agenda, but it's behind closed doors. So she did an interview with PGD2 News where she clearly showed her upsetness about the situation.
I do not know whether it's by design or default, but Mullet Bay appears twice on the schedule of Parliament this week. Unfortunately, though, none of these times will the general public be privy to the discussions regarding this piece of real estate that is not only reminiscent of a buoyant period of our tourism industry, but also of near full employment in the hotel sector of the entire island, both north and south. Of the two meetings that are scheduled this week on the topic of Mullet Bay, one has to do with the objection petition filed by over 2,000 persons against the development of Mullet Bay Beach, and the other meeting is one of the Committee Parliamentary Inquiry Mullet Bay, both scheduled behind closed doors. The Minister of Romi has replied to the questions by the petitioners. These questions were put to the Minister via the Committee of Parliament, and it is Parliament via the Petition Committee that now has to decide on the next steps in this regard. On the topic of the Mullet Bay Inquiry Committee of Parliament, it should be noted that this committee, established in 2019, had estimated 8 months to accomplish what it had set out to do, namely, give Mullet Bay back to the people. 3 years later, even discounting for the pandemic, not a peep has been heard. Quite a coincidence, I would say, that only after another formal request from me for this committee to report to Parliament that a committee has finally decided to meet. One might recall I had made this request approximately a year ago, and I did so again last month. Unfortunately, not even the other members of Parliament are allowed in these meetings of the inquiry committee, which is the most absurd thing in a parliamentary democracy. Next to that, I also have a request pending for a meeting of the Vromi Committee of Parliament to discuss the beach policy and moratoriums. Because what no one talks about are the conditions laid down in the Civil Code regarding the public beaches. And the question is whether the government itself is in compliance with this higher law of the land where it pertains to our beaches. But given the modus operandi of this government and its support in Parliament, I have little faith that anything tangible will come from these meetings other than the usual hype. As so much time has already passed, things have happened, the answers are superficial and not in sync with the reality on the ground.
Welcome to the Late Night Show. We have a good one for you. Let's begin.
You know what we say, Martin? People like more than one good deal, two good deals. Ha Out of the place back with the double D's for all your wheels this Black Friday. Yeah, hear that right. 2 times the Black Friday deals from November 25th to November 27th and December 2nd to December 4th at Outer Depot. Buy one tire, get one free. buy 2 tires, get 2 free. Buy tires for your wife, mother, sister, father, brother, whoever else you want your sighting, and get more tires. Ain't no limit. Talking about free, why seen here? Buy 1 seat cover and get a free LED headlight kit free. Car mat, free sunshade, and free steering wheel cover. Partner, that's $100 free. I freeing up myself for this sale. 25% off of rims, a set of 4 start that only $350. Them past due electric bills that we got to wait. I remember back in the day like January this year when I used to fill my gas tank with a small change in my pocket. When you change your service kit, you save gas and get your filters free. Your best change your noisy clack clack clock clock parts one time and save 50%. So I'm gonna make it simple. Everything you see in the store got big discount. Paint, car audio, batteries, tint, and everything else. Auto Depot, Black Friday, 2 back-to-back weekends. You hear it from Bigfoot first.